Waiting do me, I don't feel explain for us. I just dey cry. I got lean safe for some because I got lean and she was now calling me like she knows that naturally MTN already recognized that I buy card every day. So I no longer buy card because I don't have anybody to call. She called me and
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Adefolami Agumbiade, and you're welcome to the hottest podcast in the universe. Do you like that energy? All right, so today we'll be discussing the issues people face when they're looking for love. And the topic is, should I end it, break up, or should I just continue? It's a very, very important question. People don't know how do you assess whether a relationship is worth continuing? Because not every relationship is worth. So how do you assess that? That's what we're talking about today. All right. So I have with me, you're welcome to the Darkpore Show. It's a show that helps young people start new things, start new families, new careers, new relationships, and figure out the way the world works. So today we'll be reviewing an article. The article,
the monologue.
Okay. So today may be the enemy of your tomorrow. In your business and perhaps in your life or your relationship, the tomorrow that you desire and envision may never come to pass if you do not end some things you are doing today. And if also you do not end some relationships that you are involved in today. Okay. And in today's session, for some people, it's easy, it's clear. It's very, very easy to do. They know when to end things, when to break up with people, when to end relationship. For others, it's extremely difficult. It's much more. So for today's show is all about that problem. And how to get the results that you desire in your relationships and in your career by ending the things whose time has gone past. Okay? In today's show, you will see that endings are a natural part of life. All right? And that your life, your relationship, and businesses must face them and must face them squarely. It's either your relationship faces them or you stagnate and die. Okay? They are an inherent reality for most people. You also see that there are different kinds of endings. By the time we start having the conversation, you see the different ways in which you can break up, the different ways in which you can end relationships, the different ways in which you can end businesses or careers or products that you are building. All right. And then in this particular show, we'll help you through our conversations and our stories. We'll help you tell which one is which and which is different from the other. Okay. The goal of this is so that you'll be able to ensure some success and prevent many failures and much misery. All right. So you will learn that there are reasons you may not see. Because as we speak right now, most of us were in different points in our life, and you'll get to find out that there are reasons you may not see the endings that are in front of you as we are having this conversation. And the goal of this show, today's show, is to help you to see those endings. Okay. And to help you see the reasons why you must execute some of those endings, those breakups, okay, much more masterfully. Are you guys interested in the way today's show is going to go?
Yes.
All right, you're interested. If you're interested, let me say yeah. Yeah. Okay. All right. My our hope in designing this show is so that at least we can get to give you hope, so that some people will see that there is hope for them. All right, in the situations that they may find themselves and in some of the relationship problems that seem hopeless to them. That's the goal of this show, today's show. Because for most of us, we've been misdiagnosing what we should continue to hope for, what we should continue to push on. All right, and the reason why is because, and if you misdiagnose, you use the wrong tactics also in solving them. Okay, so my hope is that you'll be comfortable. You'll be more comfortable and more confident in seeing things you need to end and taking the strength, okay, to go ahead and end them so that the things that you need to start, you will be able to start them. And that applies across our careers, our relationships, our businesses, and our product lives. So at the end of this show, we'll open up doors to a much brighter future than we all could ever have imagined. So let's jump right into it. So the first act of the show, we will be reviewing an article. And the article we'll be reviewing is an article that was published on June 2nd, 2023 by Catherine Donaldson Evans. And the title of the article is your relationship over? or should you fight for it? So a few summaries from the article. Okay, so let's just read the first paragraph. So whether you've been married or you've been together for a decade, all right, just long enough to get past the honeymoon phase, it can be difficult to know when to call it a day, when your relationship has gone sour. All right, here are some signs that may sound familiar. The two of you are fighting constantly lately and you never really make up. And maybe you don't even talk to each other at all for some days. You rarely plan date nights anymore. And sex has lost its spontaneity. You may feel that you are drifting farther and farther apart. On the outside, it may seem like you're on the brink of a breakup. Okay? Or are you? Sometimes you find yourself doubting that splitting up is the right thing to do in between those moments when you are positive that this relationship is done. But how can you be certain that there's nothing left of your love to hold on to? How do you know when things are really, truly over, past the point of saving? It's important to consider the little endings that come and go, but feel big at the same time, says Jeanette Raymond, PhD, a licensed psychologist in Los Angeles, and the author of Now You Want Me, Now You Don't. Okay? Many of the author's clients feel the relationship is going to end any moment when they are insecure. Their fears become self-fulfilling prophecy and propel the relationship to a premature end. But every relationship is different, as this author has said. They spoke to several experts to better understand the signs. All right? And we have a couple of the signs there. So let's go through the signs. Let's just list them one by one.
So the signs...
7 signs.
Yeah, the summary that the relationship is ending is that, first of all, there will be decreased desire to spend time together. And also your conversation will become flat and uninteresting. Then, of course, there will be a decrease in your sexual intimacy. Then there will be frequent moodiness and irritability within the relationship, like you are easily irritated and all those stuff. Then there will be a reluctance to address relationship issues and work on fixing them. Then the 6th one is that one partner will be controlling the other, or one partner will dominate the other. Then the last one is that the inability to find compromise or meet halfway in resolving conflicts.
Okay,
so those are basically the 7
so
signs.
those are the summary, 7 signs. Okay, so we'll talk about those 7 signs. I believe that every single person here has been in a relationship at one point or the other. Is there anybody who has never dated anybody? You've never been in a relationship. You've been alone by yourself.
Someone said she has been alone now. The lady in yellow.
No, I think she revised the thing. There was a revised standard.
I think she can speak for herself.
She's here now.
She's here now. It's not an issue.
Jessica.
I never said I wasn't in a relationship or I've not been in a relationship. All I said was I don't go out on dates.
Okay.
So let me put it this way. In my life, I'll say I have dated 3 guys. So I've not gone out on a date with them. That's what I said.
Three is a big number.
Distance kind of dating or what?
3 is the big number.
I don't
It's a big
understand.
number now. For a lady, it's a big number.
life.
Wow.
Life, no name.
All right, so at least we've all been there. Okay, so they said there are 7 signs. All right, top on the list of that sign is that you do not
Spend time
together with each other. So is there anybody here that can corroborate that, who has seen these warning signs in the course of their past relationships or even present?
Tell, son.
Now that we're shooting, everybody is quiet.
Yes, I think I can. I think I just go first because okay, there was somebody.
You can't see your face.
Can't see your face.
You can't see my face.
You look like
I think it's good you don't see my face. Okay, so the stuff is that there was somebody I dated. It's been a quite a long time actually. So I think the first one actually is actually true because there was a point that we were not spending time, and the reason was that I become more stressed after seeing her than I was before seeing her. If you know what I mean.
stress is
Like she,
prima donna.
any small, she's the kind of lady, some ladies start to want to form boss lady and all those stuff. So she argues a lot. Any small stuff that I don't see as anything. She just picks, yeah. So that's alone made me that I don't really want to see her like that. I use the communication. And she observed it that, I wasn't calling her like that. I wasn't planning to see her and all that. And one day she just composed a breakup message and one Tuesday morning. 9:45 actually, just like and she sent the message. I just showed my friend. The guy was like, congratulations, congratulations, boy. You know, I can't act that. And actually, I wanted the relationship to end at that point because she was. I'm looking for the English. One of my friends knows the girl very, very well, very, very well. Like she has seen the girl behave and all that. She was a good girl, of course, fantastic. But just that she is egoistic and, you know. And what ladies don't know is that once you have said yes to me, the relationship switch. I am the one holding the key. If I say we should continue, we'll continue. If I say we should pause, we'll pause. Just now,
control. You see, that's one of the keys.
So that was so effectively like that was a sign you were in control.
No. The sign was that I was only feeling more stress calling her, like argument. So I wasn't.
You were interested in talking to her?
Yes, because after a long day, I call you. You are adding to my problem.
We'll come back. We'll come back to the rest of the story. So everybody here, the general consensus among people here is the general consensus that when the relationship is about to end, you won't talk as much as you used to.
Normally.
For real.
Normally, or you just ghost the person.
Yes, or talking even becomes a burden.
No, there are some that you talk now. You talk normally.
They even ask you a question, you flare up.
So you won't talk.
Just be boring.
Okay, so you are saying that for the relationships that you've been that have ended, you guys just stop talking.
Yes, okay.
Not all.
Break
But
up.
talking becomes hard.
Yes.
All right, so that's one sign. Okay. The second, one of the signs this person mentions is that you are moody and irritable all the time.
Yeah. You might not be maybe like a normal chat. Good morning. How are you? Fine. Go up to work. Yes. That's the end of the day. The next day again, you have good morning. How are you? Fine, like that. Like it's a morning greeting routine.
Ritual.
Yes.
Okay, so
and knocking too becomes.
Okay, so another one says you don't want to talk about what's causing the issues.
Because the elephant in the room is not addressed.
So basically, is that the agreement that usually when people have issues in their relationship they don't want to talk about, it's just a matter of time they are going to break up?
Yeah.
It's actually advisable to resolve the issue immediately you guys start having issues. Because once it passes a day, it is no longer an issue again. Like
It's a
problem entirely. Because as a lady, me, I will carry it in my head though. I will carry it in my head. Because when you now talk, I will not tell you that time that you did it, it's not know you addressed it that time. It's now you're not bringing it back. Because you can't be piling up problems. Once you have issues, you direct your issues, you solve your issue immediately. You shouldn't surpass the next day. This is not right. I don't think it's right.
Some guys might feel as if at that point you are not meant to talk about it. Because me, if I'm upset, like I have issues, like, okay, can we just spend this for another time?
Okay, so we've gone through one sign. You don't want to talk to the person. You're not looking for conversations fall flat. We have a second sign in which you don't want to meet halfway on anything. You're not willing to talk about the issue, the issues that are causing conflict. Then the third is you don't even want to negotiate with the person or meet halfway or compromise on anything. Has anybody been there? So are we in agreement that this happens?
Yes, happens.
Okay, so that's the article. The author of this article says, let's go on. The author of this article says that in this particular situation, if you have these 7 signs in your relationship, what do you do? Do you continue or do you stop? Do you break up? The author of the article has a couple of recommendations. Let's just read through the summary of our recommendations. Can we go back to the article, please? Should you continue the relationship or should you stop? The author of this article has a couple of recommendations, and so there are about 7 of them or so.
Yeah, she gave 4 reasons why she feels you should continue, and she gave 3 reasons why she feels that it's good you end it. So I can just go over the 4 reasons that she said. He said that you should give the relationship a try if you still feel love for each other despite the current challenges. That's the first one. Then, and he said that if you obviously have children together, maybe for some 1 or 2 reasons, you got pregnant. So, yeah. Then the third one is that you should recognize that the issues stem from personal issues, actually. Like the issues that come up can be addressed. So it's not as if there's no solution to it. So when you feel that way, Then the last one is that lack of effort in seeking couples therapy or investigating genuine efforts into repairing the relationship. So, yeah, if you feel that the reason why your relationship is at the brink of breaking is because you guys have not seen a therapy. So I think, yeah, he said you should continue, you should not break up at that particular point. So those are the 4 reasons I give.
Okay, and so then also 3 reasons why he's saying that people should stop to break up. 3 reasons. The first is, let's assume the person keeps crossing the line on something. Maybe you're married to somebody, you're dating someone, the person has like gambling addiction, or the person is having repeated affairs, person is constantly sleeping outside, constant infidelity. Okay, or maybe person is gambling or spending money and it doesn't end. You can't change the person. In that case, at some point you have to pull the plug. The second one is that if there's violence or abuse, so if you're with someone in which you guys are beating each other, for instance, or you guys are abusing each other and neighbors have to come in to intervene, at some point in time, you may have to seek a separation so that somebody does not get killed. Okay, and then the third reason is perhaps you've tried therapy. You've gone for couples therapy. You've tried counseling and then the counseling did not work. At that particular point in time, saying that, okay, at that point, maybe you might not have motivation to stay together. Okay, so there are a couple of other things we'll talk about. We'll get back to this article. Okay, but let's just use this to jump right into our experiences. So we've heard a lot. So does anybody have an experience in which you found yourself at a critical crossroad? You were in a relationship, you were dating someone, and then you were faced with that challenge that do I continue or do I move on? Or maybe you are the one that
they moved on.
That they moved on from. So you can tell us the story. We're not saying this again. We'll say we're not telling these stories because we want to make fun of people. All right. The good thing about these stories are being documented so that people all across the world, young people all across the world who watch this, can examine your life and your decisions and then can get wisdom from it. Right? Because a lot of times it's not easy to find wisdom on what to do. When you go on the internet, you meet people like all those social media personalities that will tell you that in their own case, whenever they cook, they use Eva bottled water to cook soup. You don't get, so this is practical advice, practical stories from real people who have walked and lived through the stories they're about to tell. So that's why we're doing this. So is there anyone?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
All right, so you're going to tell us your name and then how the story started, how you met the person, how the relationship progressed. All right, so I think it's important to know how it started.
All right. Abib Jimo is my name, and this particular lady, I met her through my cousin. They happen to be classmates. They study the same cousin of Apuli. I was in University of Ilorin then. I was in Osun State Polytechnic then. Because I went to Poly before going to University of Ilorin. So I actually saw her on my cousin's phone.
Well, the way you're going with this story, you're not going to break down and start crying. Because that's the way you set up.
I don't cry in the past. I don't cry, like really cry.
Yeah.
So I saw her on my cousin's phone, and I was like, wonderful. I know this girl now. That kind of thing. Said he's her friend, and as a matter of fact, she's just going through one heartbreak presently. This is a good time now. Let me just mend the heartbreak. Let me mend the heart now. What do you think? And she was like, the lady, the guy actually is violent, usually beats the girl, and when they were ending, he even broke her phone, that she doesn't even have a phone at the moment. So how far are we going to run this stuff now? Then along the line, when she said she will follow up with her, that she just speak with her with her mom's phone because they are on break. So I said, no problem. Maybe when they speak, you can hint her then. Along the line, when she gets a phone, you can let her know the full story and probably because I say I need the number of the lady. He said when she gets the phone and when they get talking back, that she will ask her first. After telling her that, can she give her the number. I said, no problem. So to cut that short, later she got the phone and I got the number. We got talking. From there, something started. We started a relationship. Okay, fine. She was a wonderful person, actually. That she was a wonderful person.
She used to be.
She used to be a wonderful person. We were good together while I was still in poly. I was in 92 then. After my ND, I entered University of Ilorin. We were still together. And it get to a time I do go to check up on her in our school. She comes to mine also. So we do like that.
Oshun to Kwara to Oshun.
Something like that. Yeah, right. So there's something I watched in Yoruba movie that I don't know that is real. The fact that when I go to a place, probably maybe I just buy like bread alongside when I'm going or something. When I get to a place, there's this hostel beside our hostel. There are some guys staying there. There are a particular room, 2 guys staying together as roommates. So if I go there, she will take me there. That I should greet those guys. That they are the one taking care of her in the school. Wonderful. Normally, I was not, love is crazy actually. I don't think otherwise. I only look at it that, okay, it's normal that at least me to have some people I'm taking care of. No, like normal taking care of that. Just help ourselves. So I was thinking we are on the same way. I was thinking we are on the same page. Not knowing that they are helping her on the other hand. To the extent that
how were they helping her?
As in they were helping themselves.
Break it down.
The story is coming there. It's coming there actually. So that bread when me brain come,
They go chop on.
they give it to those guys.
Wow.
I was not seeing it as anything because she usually say they were helping them. Probably my own is maybe they do give her money too or something. So it's not bad if she gives the bread to them or something. No problem. But later on, I'm suspecting her one way or the other, the way she behaves, that there is something going on with her. But love is crazy. If I think of it, I'll still come back again.
Don't
be like that. There was a day I was at her place. I got there in the afternoon. Said, what do I want to eat? I said, bread is okay. I had bread. And while I was eating, she said she's coming. And she left. I had bread. After eating, this girl no come back. I sit down. After some time, I had to sleep. I was just laying my back and I don't know when I slept off. I woke up around after 7 p.m. She's not back. Wonderful. What is happening?
She went to receive help.
I went. As a Muslim, I went to observe my salat. I've been coming there, so I know where the mosque is. I went to the mosque. I came back. She's not back. 8 o'clock. I went to mosque again. I come back. She's not back. I called her phone. Why is it no? She left her phone inside the room. The phone was ringing in the room. Wonderful. Okay.
Wonderful.
I was waiting for her. I slept off again. She came back after 11 in the night.
What lecture was going on?
Okay. When she came back, she came in, she took her bucket. It was a room. She took her bucket, she went out to the bathroom. She went to take a bath. She came back. The problem I had with that bath was, naturally my girlfriend then, my ex-girlfriend that I know, we never take bath in the night. Take a bath in the night. She feels cold. So there must be a reason for her to take bath that night. She was stressed.
After receiving help.
So I was thinking about it, but after thinking about it, she came in. I was still lying down. I don't quickly run into conclusion. So I was waiting patiently. She came back. She was lying on my back. She was like, I'm sorry. I said, you are sorry for what? Say, you are sorry for going since afternoon and coming back this time. Or you are sorry for taking your bath. Which of the two? He said, what do you mean by sorry for taking your bath? I asked 2 questions. You don't need to answer only one. Are you sorry for coming back now? Where did you go to? Say, there was no reasonable thing to talk about. I said, no problem. I slept. She woke me up around 2 a.m.
To help her.
What happened now? I said, I'm sorry now. I said, no problem. I said, you are sorry. I heard you. Said, you told me yesterday you are sorry. I said, I've heard you. Now you are still sorry, Abby. And no problem. That went. I was not even taking it serious again.
How long at that point, how long had you guys dated for? Then?
Over a year.
Over a year. Okay, so
over a year.
I want to accelerate your story, all right? Okay. Because the way it is, the way you're narrating the story, you are bringing us into that story. And I'm not sure that the gentlemen here have the willpower
to go to that story.
To follow you through that story without getting angry. So,
actually,
after that point, after that particular instance, at what point did you reach that point that you felt that, okay, I have to end this relationship?
Or to repair the relationship?
There is one of those guys that hits my bread. His conscience is disturbing him. Because the other guy is the main guy that was
knocking, giving the help.
Helping
her, giving
like I was giving her back to back.
I still don't understand what
they were mating. Like they were mating.
You mean you were having
so the guy is not.
Wait, so let me get to now. Okay, so to summarize the story so far. So you had a girlfriend you dated for 1 year. One of the times, each time you went to go and visit her, you would buy bread, and then when you give her, she would give some guys in her school.
Okay, yeah.
Some male friends
in her school and all that. And those guys kept taking the. And then at some particular point in time, one of those guys who was eating the bread that you were bringing told you that.
No. The conscience was speaking him, and he told my cousin that she's supposed to let me know what is going on. That she's using at the expense of family for friend. That she's not giving me the update of what's happening.
Okay, so what was the update of what's going on?
Like, that thing is going on.
Okay, wait, she was having sex with another guy.
Yeah.
And she should be telling you.
That my cousin is supposed to tell me that. Am I supposed to end up with that kind of person that she knows that it's not good for me?
Okay, he told your cousin
that is she not supposed to tell me?
Okay.
Like, as a guy, if he calls me that this and this and this, I'm as guys, we may be thinking that the guy said get interest, say he want make I come up for the picture. So he can't really come out straight like that.
Okay, yeah.
How guys can think at times.
Yeah.
That he couldn't but you are the family.
Yes, it's
can't you
relative.
Call your brother like
but that cousin was the one that introduced both of you now. Was it not?
Yeah, he's still rooting that you guys will mend fences.
So the guy was now like, if she cannot tell me, like anytime we are together, she should tell me that we should call him, that he has something to tell me, that he will tell me himself.
Okay.
So later I told you.
After about 2 years that we were together.
God.
After like over 2 years. Like, I finished my exam. So okay, she was supposed to come to my place after her exam. I was having my exam, but I was done. I was waiting for her to be done with her exam in her school so that she can come. Then we agreed that when she finished her exam, so day, then she'll be coming. But she finished her exam, she was just telling me she's tired. Okay. Normally, if you finish exam at times, you get tired. Come the next day. The next day, she was not coming. The third day, what's up? Me, I don't have anything doing in school like this. It's you I'm waiting for. If you are not coming, let me know. Let me just go home. Then I called my cousin, like, how far? Your friend saying they come my side. Till now, no? Say, no. As in something like that. Since day before yesterday, I'm not seeing anybody. Although she told me that she's tired. The guy say, I was like, what do you mean? I say, okay, we have discussion, but when we see face to face, me, I don't the reason I say, okay, something don't stop. She later came because I called her that day and I said, if you are not coming today, don't bother coming because first bus tomorrow morning, I'll be in Lagos. So if you are not coming today, don't bother coming again. Then she came that day. By the time she would come, it was around 7. I was in the mosque. But she knows where I keep my key. She was in when I would come back from mosque. I met her inside, frowning. What's wrong with you? It's it is so. And she told me that she's not feeling fine. Before 5 minutes, she was feeling fine. No? Everything was okay. Like her face, everything changed after pretending that she was not feeling fine. Not knowing that there's a particular guy, or there's a particular man also that she was dating. A married man at that. A married man that she was dating also. So it was that man that did not allow her come on time.
The man was giving her help.
She was still
receiving help.
Seeing that man also. To cut the long story short, when after meeting ourselves, that was the last time we met, and when I came to Lagos, my cousin, when she was in Lagos also, will you come to my place or I should come to your place? He said, no, me I should come. I said, I'm broke presently, you come. She was like, it's because I'm broke too, that's why I say you should come. I said, okay, no problem. Any of us that get money first should come. Then, but I was eager to know what's happening. So I talked to my dad that I needed some money that I want to go to my cousin's place. So he gave me the money and I went. So when I got there, I said, we are far now. I need to hear the full gist. And he was like, Melio, he's the one that will speak to me. You tell me. He said, okay. We called the guy. Sincerely yours. When the guy was talking, I was saying how things, to the extent that there was a point she said she was pregnant. She told me she was pregnant. I said, no problem. Like if she's pregnant, as a matter of fact, I know the abort for our family. She called the call. She called me back and she was angry. Like, why will I say no problem? I said, I don't understand. What do you expect me to say? Is that what I'm supposed to say? What was I supposed to say? Say, why will I say no problem that she's pregnant? What do you want me to say? Is it I'm supposed to say maybe we'll find something to do? Something like what? I think it's even the guys that used to say, we need to do something to do. But I'm telling you, there is no problem. Yes, is that I finished my education. I know saying that my own BSc be that. No, that's the highest that can happen. Because the kind of dad me I have, they will tell you, to have the form alone you to Paris school in here. You are already a graduate on your own. So I already have that mindset, okay, you are pregnant, no problem, because what I cannot tell my sister to do, I can't ask you to do it. I cannot tell my sister to abort. So why will I tell you to go and abort? You give birth, you say no, this and that. So when I came back to school was when I was seeing her like, where's the pregnancy? Sincerely yours, she already aborted it. In fact, when she aborted it was twin. She removed, the doctor that removed one. After like a day, she was not feeling comfortable. She went back and they discovered that it was two. That if she waited for some time, she just be, she could lose for area. But the girl, back to where the guy called me on phone and when she was saying all those things the girl was doing, like I already saw those things. I was now flashing back to things that were happening, but I wasn't sure.
Okay, so to recap, you said she told you she was pregnant.
Not on call, like along the line before the call.
Then you said you had a call with your cousin, and your cousin.
That's the last part.
Okay, yeah.
So we were on a call, like no, not with my cousin. I was with my cousin. We were sitting together. Then we were on a call with that guy.
Yes.
That faithful guy.
Yeah.
With that stupid guy.
Calm down.
So the guy was explaining things that he explained reason why he could not actually tell me in person beforehand, and that he already told my cousin to explain, but since I think she cannot explain, then he's looking at me that I'm a good person and it will not be good for me to end up with that kind of a person. And he was telling me categorically that he doesn't know. Maybe I was aware that he got pregnant some time back, which she aborted. That it is that married man that impregnated her, and he was still the person that paid for the abortion.
Okay.
And she was telling me, probably maybe she want to use that. If I say, okay, go out, but she want to use that to cash out again. I don't know. Maybe when she tell me she's pregnant and I say, I know, we'll find something to do then. Next thing is send money so that she can cash out from both ends. But after hearing it, the guy told me those she was dating that even my cousin was not aware. To the extent that she was dating a lecturer or so. The story was just heartbreaking that on call, I never knew when I was crying actually. As in, I was crying and you get to a point I had to tell the guy that, you know what, I've had enough. I've had enough. Don't worry, don't worry. Thank you very much.
You don't wept.
That was just the end of the relationship from my side. So when I got home,
let's stay with the story.
Even while going home, I was just crying by myself inside the bus. Like people don't know what's wrong actually, but me, I just dey cry. Normal. I got home, cry. I could not eat safe. Like normal. I could not eat for some days. Wetin do me, I don't feel explain for us. I just dey cry. I got lean safe for some because I got lean and she was now calling me like she knows that naturally MTN already recognized that I buy card every day. So I no longer buy card because I don't have anybody to call. Yeah. She called me and we spoke for over 30 minutes. She was trying to tell me like, the way she was saying it, she knew that I'm already aware of everything that has happened. She was telling me, I should tell me that thing that is in my mind. That thing, what is in my mind? I said, anything is not on my mind. He said something is on my okay, since me that I'm the owner of the mind does not even know that something is here. Tell me what is on my mind. So you know, what am I saying? That how can I say she should be telling me what's on my own mind? That should tell I don't have anything on my mind. So the relationship, there's not even asking that should I continue or should, because that kind of a lady, what I just know that if she give birth to 5, I will not be the father of anyone. I may not be the father of anyone. If possible, maybe the father of one. Yeah. And what I noticed is that the lady, maybe why she does that is she fancy material things.
Exactly.
And she's the type
that's not just for that's not for her alone now.
Her own is too much. The thing is, if she buys a shoe today,
now. The guy is giving her.
Yes, really bringing milk.
If she gets a new shoe today, tomorrow if she sees somebody wearing it, she will not wear that shoe again.
But listen, what you just have said about being materialistic, that still does not. Being materialistic is not enough reason.
I guess because of the fact that she understands the financial status of me is the reason she's doing that. Because she knows that what I can afford is what I'm doing for her. And she's not okay with it.
And she didn't tell you.
And she's not telling me anything.
So who broke up with you?
I broke up without any... We did not have any... We don't even meet again to discuss it. Like, we broke up. Like, she understands that we've broken up. We don't need to talk that we are breaking up. But she understands already that. Stop you now. It's gone.
So how long ago was that?
That's 2015, 16.
2015, 16.
You have healed now.
Yeah.
And so that means you moved on now.
After that one, I said many breakups.
Okay,
so it's not immediate text.
It's not immediate text. Okay. No. So we'll talk. But
after I had to go on 2 years break.
That's so. Yeah.
2 years. To heal up.
It was not easy.
But after the 2 years, you still received that.
I still received.
You still have to deal with that.
I beg.
God, I beg. Whatever idea.
I think we should just
no.
In fact, I don't know where to go.
I'm not sure any story can beat that story.
I think this one will beat this story.
No,
there's a hot one that he has not dropped.
No, I don't need to drop everything.
I think he does grab the TV.
I don't need to drop everything.
No problem. Well, a couple of things from his story. Does anybody have any points you want to pull out from his story?
Yeah, I think I have a point I have to pull out from his story.
Okay.
I love the
I don't know where to start. I don't know.
Can you summarize the points you want to pull out from the story?
I think we just move on.
All right,
that
so
point-
I have a point to pull up. I for one feel he ignored the signs. They were glaring enough, like for her to have slipped past, like just zoom off for that couple of hours, and she came shining. That's a no sign.
Yeah.
Somebody can.
And I am sure she must have done that over and over again.
You're right.
So I think
And like I said, it was
he
love
was
that
in
was
love
crazy.
and he was in love and he was not ready to
Not
make the
red
right
signs,
call.
yeah.
Well,
Red flag.
the issue is this. The issue is this. Yes, you can say you ignored the sign, but whether I like you or not, you can date somebody that it won't end up that way, and that instance could still have happened.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. But your point is noted. The point you said, in a sense, sometimes we have to face reality,
Sure.
particularly when it comes to relationships with people. You have to see people for who they are. Okay? And if you were to go back to advise yourself at the time in which, in the middle of that relationship, 2 years, a year into that relationship, what advice would you have given yourself about that kind of person, the lady you were with?
Stay off.
Keep off.
Like, keep off. Thank you. That's the word.
I
Keep
think
off.
okay. I think what I want to say. I think you like
Like, she should not be love blinded.
yeah, and I think you were in love, and like someone used to say, someone that my boss used to say that you were in love, she was in business, and I and you know that the girl what you were giving her, you could not.
One funny something is that
In fact, you say fuck up, baby. When we can do something.
I fuck up.
This English is
Wait.
what's my last? Wait, chill now, guy. Chill. Well, I was very, very paid. Your guy, let's leave English. Your guy boy go there. The girl will carry go give her that guy.
You don't get man to chop bread.
And the guy will go meet the guy. Wait now, chill now. I will go meet the guy.
Wait, my uncle, they are helping me.
Your guy go meet the guy. Say this is what people helping me.
You know that's which kind of help.
And
Define
you
help.
bring bread. Oh,
You should.
Your mic,
wait.
Your mic, bring your mic close.
The problem again is that just ignoring the signs is the problem actually.
Yeah.
no,
Because there was I remember something again. Most times when she's at my place, I think maybe they already agreed that if I tell you I'm at his place, then their discussion, they should know the kind of discussion they discuss. Because if she's at my place and they call, she'll be like, well, already boyfriend me. Automatically, it was later after the breakup, I was thinking of everything that has happened. Automatically, the meaning of my boyfriend places, let's know what we'll discuss. But I was not thinking about it when it was happening.
Because you're in love.
Okay, boyfriend.
No, the issue is that you now, in fact, the first call now you don't fuck up.
Who never fuck up?
Now, they told you that this girl is going through a breakup. Why you won't go Eli in the first place? Let me start from there.
Guys,
I hope she even
listen, you have to
I felt-
listen. You have-
She should make her
Cut
see
him
the
some slacks.
excuse me,
Yes, cut
Alright,
him
guys.
some
Cut him
slack,
some
bro.
slacks.
guys, right? You've narrated your story.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to open your chest. Okay,
To receive arrows.
to receive the arrows. Right?
Yes.
We're not having this. The arrows are not meant for you. This has been a long term and all that. We are doing this X-ray because somebody is going to find himself in the developing
Yes, and
stages
these are
of
gonna-
your story,
Yes.
and it's not going to have anybody. Some of these stories that you don't really have people that you can talk to. Okay, so we'll just take his feedback, not for you, but for whoever is going to watch this. So let's hear let's Oji finish his feedback.
It's from a point of love. Now, see the issue. Now, the problem is that I've had, from little experience that we've had, if a girl is going through breakup, the guy that is coming next, he's always bad. So you don't fuck off for that part. He's going through a breakup. You went there, somehow, you people clicked.
Miracle
And-
the tired Jesus.
And of course,
You want to perform mailing.
and you heal that, I'll give you that. You
gave her.
and you heal that was the point that she could date 3 other people. You did a good work. Like,
And
yes, now.
not having bread to the
Ah, no, let me try. Now, you're taking birth to the place. You knew that this girl, they do something. Now, the problem is that I will advocate that guys should do what girls should do. You say get back up. Yes, now, because
All right. So this is where I'm going to. This is where I'm going to come.
The advice is to have backup.
So let me come in.
no, I'm not done. Double
Listen,
I
okay.
want to say something.
I have to.
And that's a circle of
we all have things. So let's just bring it full circle. We'll whatever questions and whatever updates you want to give to your story, we'll take it in the Q&A. All right, so that we can move on to other people's stories. But I'll just say a couple of things. All right, because I took down some notes when you were talking. Okay, the very, very first thing you have to do, okay, when you are dealing with people, right, is to face reality. And a lot of times, facing reality means you have to ask yourself what exactly is true about this person. We had a buy session before we came into the studio, and we're talking about does people's past matter? People's past matter because one of the best predictors of future behavior is past behavior. Mm-hmm. People can tell you that you should discount it. It's extremely, there are 6 circumstances under which you can discount past behavior. Okay, and before the end of this podcast, I will go into it. Okay, but if you have somebody who has been in a relationship and the relationship was abusive, and they told you that the past boyfriend was beating her up or they were beating themselves up, and that you want to use that point to get in, you have to be absolutely sure that the information you have been fed is accurate.
Objective.
Okay, because it may be that the past boyfriend was experiencing what you went through and they were punching themselves out of anger. Okay? And they were probably perfect for each other. Okay, so that's one thing. We don't like to face don't like to face reality. If you go to the bank and you say you want to borrow money from the bank, one of the things the bank would ask you for is what? Your past bank account statements. They want to see the way income is coming in, how you are spending it, to know whether you will be able to service the loan you are taking. Then they probably would ask you, okay, commit something just in case you cannot service the loan. We can take this. You understand? So there are things that we have to tell ourselves about people. All right. As at the time in which she came around and you spent 1 year in, a question I felt that you probably should ask yourself, particularly, and I think this applies to everybody. If you're dealing with people and you feel that you're having difficulties with them and you want to know, do you continue with this person or not? One question you should ask yourself is this: is there anything in the future that you can use as a yardstick to say that this person is going to get better? Is there any verifiable evidence? If you are dating someone, for example, if you're dating a guy now who is unemployed, and you know that guy is working, the guy is throwing out 100 applications every day. He's going for interviews, he's going for skills and all that. You can, on the basis of that, you can say, okay, I can stick with this person because it's just a matter of time. But if you're dating someone in which is not doing any of that and he's telling you that he's waiting at home for a job to come and meet him, chances are that there's nothing verifiable. Do you understand what I mean? So that's one. You have to have a particular yardstick. Second thing you also ask yourself is that if you're having quarrels with people, maybe you're dating someone, you're having a particular issue with them, you should ask yourself that question. And that's the question, I would say that's the question you should have asked at the very, very first time and trashed out. Do I want to keep having the same issues with this person a year from now? If your answer is yes, you are ready to be having the same issues, then you can continue. But if your answer is no, you have to ask what can be done to ensure these same issues do not continue. Because most of the time, as we go along, we'll talk about assessing people on the basis of the kind of people they are. Hope, you can break hope down. When you ask that, is there hope for the future? You can distill, there are yardsticks you can use to assess whether you should be hopeful or not. From past behavior, to support systems, to processes, to structure. Okay? To proven, verifiable platforms for change. If you hope that your children will do better than you, one of the things you expect is you put them in training programs. They go to school. Once they are done, you try to enroll them maybe in an apprenticeship program. You try to identify what industries of the future. Do you understand me? So There are yardstick which we use to assess hope. And as we go along in the conversation, we'll get into that. So I just want you to think about it. Think about what we've said so far. Okay, and think about and I want you to go back because we'll still come back to your story. You want to go back at that critical point, the first point in which you notice that I'm having issues with this person. At that point, a year in that you notice, this is a red flag. All right. There are questions that you should ask yourself. We'll get into those questions as we go along. So but thank you very much for the story. I won't blame you. I understand that you are inexperienced back then. It's very, very easy for people to laugh, but there are people here who have
fallen into worse.
And it's both male and female. So thank you very much for your story. Let's move on. Is there anybody? We're not trying to top each other's story now, because by comparison, some of you say that my story is not as bad as his story. Okay, but that was 7 years ago. So
okay, so I think that was 2019. I met this particular guy. We attend the same church.
You still attend the same church now?
We still attend.
So he's going to watch this.
So I'm not the popular type in church. People actually know my granddad because he's one of the senior members in church, and they know us as his grandchildren. So whenever we go to church, I would always sit differently with my sister. But always when I go, so you know that these two, they are twins. My sister would be like, I didn't talk to people in church. I'm like, so one particular day, I went through my Facebook handle and I saw this particular guy. I've been crushing on him since.
Wonderful.
He sent a friend request and I accepted it. We started chatting. And then till Ina said he wanted to date me. I was like, okay, no problem, finally. And I said yes. We started dating. It was fun. It was actually very okay. Till I found out he had a girlfriend in that same church.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Okay.
And the girl wasn't you.
It wasn't me.
Double wonderful.
And it wasn't your twin sister.
It wasn't my twin sister.
Wow.
So I met him and I told him I was going through his phone and I saw wifey and I was like, who is wifey? I did not ask him. I think then I was playing for my jam. I was a YouTube my senior work. I did not ask him. I went to buy a pouch on my phone, so we went together. So I asked him that day, if I find out that you were cheating on me, what should I do? He said I should leave.
Wow.
Wonderful.
And I was like,
So much courage.
no problem.
Your confidence.
It's a confidence.
So I decided I was not going to ask him. It kept freaking me and I was like, I need to ask this boy, who is wifey? So I met him and I was like, who is wifey? And he said, he noticed that I found out and stuff like that. And I was like, found out what? She's my girlfriend. You have a girlfriend? And the funniest part, this girl knew about me. She knew I was in the picture. We literally see ourselves every day in church, the three of us.
Jesus.
So
triangle.
I was like, okay, no problem. And he was like, he would work things out. We should chill. I think this was already like the 8th month of the relationship already.
Whoa.
I was like, okay, no problem. I was crazy in love.
Oh.
First year went by, it was giving me red flags. I was like, okay, there's every possibility it might change. So when he was going back to school, it was like that he didn't have enough stuff and things like that. And me, I've just finished writing jam. I don't know I've not entered university. I don't have money or still learning, working. And he was like, anything I have, I should give him. I was like, okay, no problem. I went to my mommy's kitchen.
Good stuff.
I packed rice, packed beans, packed spaghetti, packed everything.
I want this kind of girlfriend when I grow up.
I gave it to him. That was the first time. I think that was when I think after I gave him, it went September and it came back December and I found out I had gotten admission in January. So when I was going to school, it was also going back to school again. So and his birthday was March.
Same school?
No, it's actually in Ekpoma. So I was like, okay, no problem. He was like, he's going to school again. I did the same thing again. So,
same full stuff.
Mama Christmas, yeah.
So we were going to, it was still fun, but I wasn't liking the idea that I was actually getting to share my man with another person. But I still decided to hold on because he kept telling me, he kept telling me, hold on, chill, I'll work things out.
Shareholder.
I was like, okay, no problem. So when I got admission, I started saving for his birthday.
Damn.
I was saving. think I spent almost 40,000 for that.
Hey, Jesus.
Wow.
And it was
Interesting.
actually painful. You know what? A week to his birthday, I asked if he was going to be around. I think that was when they went on strike or something like that. And it was like it was not going to be around. It was going to his sister's place at Ibadan. I was like, okay, no problem. So you not call your birthday gift? He said no. That maybe after he comes back.
No.
I was like, okay. It did to his birthday. It was like that we might see. He's not sure whether we will see. I did not know this guy was around.
Wow.
And he was like, okay. I was like, okay, no problem. Probably when you come back, we'll just give you the gift and stuff. And he was like, okay, no problem. On his birthday, he was at home with his girlfriend, his mother, and his father, and his younger sister.
Wonderful.
They were snapping picture and they were uploading it.
Posting.
And I asked him, Alpha, where are you? He said it was at his sister's place. I was like, share this boy, did they forget that okay? Because he was always blocking me from seeing the status. And I was like, share this boy forgot to block me when he was posting these things. And he was like, what happened, Mom Max? And I was like, nothing. And that day when I was coming back from school, I purposely carried the gift to school. When I was coming back from school, I carried it to his house. And I knocked on the door. He came out and he was like, how did you know I was at home? I said, I saw your status. I know you were at home. And his girlfriend was inside.
Wow.
And I greeted me and I will greet you.
Senior shareholder.
I actually saved that number on my phone as senior wife.
Wonderful. You are not ready to share your mind. And you save senior wife. Wonderful.
Okay, so
I
I'm going to pause your story. Right? You know you've been here before.
Yeah.
Okay. Was this the same guy last time you were here? Was this the guy you said was your boyfriend?
No.
Okay, so someone else.
Yeah.
All right. So your boyfriend doesn't know about the story.
He knows.
Okay.
Are you sure?
He knows. So that I said, okay, no problem. I gave him the gift and I greeted his mom. The mom knows because I never want to come to that. I know to pass back door. We used to jump fence.
Wonderful.
That's crazy.
You used to jump friends.
We used to jump because
You go, I mean.
Wait, I don't get.
the two of us.
The second shoulder, too.
So,
Okay, you used to jump fence into his compound.
Yes. That was because his neighbor was actually related to my family. So we don't want her seeing me anytime I come.
Hey.
So that day I gave him the gift and he was like, I should not be angry. And I was like, angry, that was your birthday, you should enjoy it. And I left that day. I got very pissed and I was like, I'll just keep holding on. And I kept holding on.
Jesus.
You are holding on for
For a better rainy day.
3 years.
okay, just in case they break up.
I was not yet.
When you become the highest.
No. I need to. Okay, so you are holding on for just in case they break up. Then
Yes.
So that
you get
she'll
to
now
have
become
the
the
guys.
senior.
She now become the sole proprietor.
Yeah, it's allowed. The way you are,
Serious one.
So and we go to the same church, we go to practice. Me and the girl were actually in the same practice together.
same choir.
We were not in choir, we're actually lectors. So we read together. She sees me when I'm reading, and I see her when
And she
in fact,
sees the Bible
we sit down
verse too.
together safe.
Wonderful.
And whenever they are coming to church, he comes with her to church. He holds her bag and comes to church. And you know
her bag.
everything. I see them now. There was this particular time.
this is not. You can't put the blame on the guy.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I was. That's
You are not. You are not a victim in this case.
In fact,
You are a volunteer.
Sorry. Was
She was crazy.
you are
Sorry.
not crazy. You are.
was he your first relationship?
You should be the first now.
first
SS2.
No wonder now. It's not. You were young. You were in.
That's
You're
not
probably
teens
probably
now.
16, 17.
I think I was there in my 15th.
Yes,
They need to get some.
See, that's
I don't feel done.
that's why they wrote
That
that
is
law
why
in
they
America.
She was just playing then. They played
See,
it.
how old is
That's
this guy?
As at
I
then.
think at then, the guy was 21.
Senior one.
Yeah, when he gets
Senior
more.
one.
No, he don't.
But that guy, by the time he's 31, he can marry more than
Senior
solo.
one.
Was he quite good looking?
It was
wonderful.
Definitely was good.
Young crush.
Yeah.
No, she
How
likes him.
old
Not
is
sure
he?
she'll be
Yeah.
mad.
Are you done with your
That's
story?
a situation.
It's
Oh,
not,
yeah,
let her finish.
Let her
finish.
So I was always having. I saw him as a partner.
Oh.
We advised.
Partnership.
I always saw him as somebody I could talk to. I could call him. I would go and steal my grandma's phone to call this guy, and I would spend hours. We would talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
And
This grandma card.
and then I was literally very, very happy I found somebody like him. We'll talk when we want to sleep, we'll pray and stuff like that.
Wow.
So
Hallelujah.
So
it was
people in the church knew the two of them were dating. And I think I had friends in church then that were going to the same school. They knew the two of them were dating. So in the second year, around Christmas, he came home. The two of them went to his sister's place. They stayed there for, I think, over a week before they came back. And I got really pissed off that, because normally he would tell me he's coming home and stuff like that. He came home that Christmas, and those people they were like, she wore a ring on her finger. Wow. And they were like, Elise, let me not call her name. They were like, your boyfriend not proposed. She laughed and said yes. I don't know if she was trying to like piss me off or something, but I just laughed. And I literally my sister was like, Leslie, we run mad one day. And I was like, not run mad. Because I was literally going into depression. Totally. I was going into depression totally.
At what point did you decide that you were going to end? Because I don't think you were dating the guy. I just think you were. I think you were infatuated.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was using
infatuated with
their
the guy.
bodyguard.
Yes.
Because you knew he had a
Actually
girlfriend, so it's not
You're
like
guarding them.
I actually trusted it because he kept saying, chill, hold on, I'll sort things out. Chill, hold on, I'll sort things
Chill,
older
they
than you.
yeah,
So
so you
using
knew,
that strength of I'm older than you. Chill. Do you understand?
Sorry,
And if you rest.
How old was the other girl?
I don't know.
As at then, was
you
she
said.
your
You
age
said
mate?
he was cheating on you.
Yeah.
That's what he said. How could he have been cheating on you?
He wasn't cheating on you now.
I did not
was
know
cheating,
they
actually.
were
No,
dating.
yes, because
Before
she
I
didn't know
entered
he's
this
still cheating.
relationship,
At
I asked
first,
him.
you were not aware they were
They were
dating.
dating.
That's why you
Yeah,
so
Then
valid
why
to this
did you
conversation.
continue?
Because
He asked her
I
out.
literally already grown enough feelings, and
That's not feelings, though.
No, you
Guys.
Starting with that story, you should hear that she said she was crushing on him. So there's nothing, if a girl loves somebody,
Yeah, she's going to
whatever that guy does at that moment, she will not see it like, okay.
Then she volunteered now.
She wants to. So if he keeps telling you, do this one, okay,
keep on
you
doing
do it.
I think that
I think he was looking for experience for relationship.
Guys, I have a question for.
I
This
have
is
a
a question.
question too.
This is a question. Okay, so how did you? When did you get to the point that you said I can't do this anymore?
that was last year for my birthday.
Last
From
year.
2019.
Last year.
Last year.
Okay, what was last year? 2022.
That's super crazy, man. That's crazy. Last year.
And you have dated
Last
like
year.
somebody before, like after.
I
you
didn't
were
guys,
dating.
but it was just random. It was just all these secondary school
No,
stupid
sorry.
No, you don't get my
Sorry.
question.
Sorry.
I think she should answer.
I think she should answer. You said you broke up with him last year.
Yeah.
So it means during the 3 years, you were not seeing anybody.
No, I wasn't.
So was it early last
Of course,
year?
she's
or
young.
Late last year.
And it was late last year because after
Late last year, so
September.
around September.
Yeah.
So it means you probably have. You're dating somebody now. So it means probably you have 2 relationships only. Like you dated just 2 people now. From what you were saying. Yes, now you said he was your first.
Like
I think
Serious.
she
First
should-
serious boyfriend.
No.
like my first like
No, real boyfriend. I'm not talking about like people that
Yeah.
asked you and you said yes. Just 2 now.
yeah.
Just 2.
Yeah.
Him and the other guy you're dating now.
No, like you don't get me. After him, I met another guy, but that one was messed up. So and I met somebody else.
So
Okay, 3 in total.
Yeah.
So
Okay, I get it now.
from October last year to now, you've dated 2 people.
Of course, that's a
Something
very
like that.
reasonable number. One of these are dated 200.
No, I just want to clarify. I'm not.
The second person, I guess that one was
I think she
not
should
wrong.
answer the
That
question.
was
And from October till now, you just dated 2 people now.
Something like
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Are you uncomfortable with the
No.
way you're being cross-examined?
No.
Who is the
So
guy?
how is the guy supposed to be? Because actually, he was cheating on the girl with you. It's not as if he was cheating on you. He was cheating on the girl with you.
Nice.
Oh my God.
The other girl, was he having sex with her?
Sure, yeah, I know about that.
Sure.
And he was having it with you too.
Wonderful.
Yeah, of course. That's why I asked of the guy's skills.
I think the guy must have been telling
The other girl, the same
something.
thing.
Same thing.
You know, a particular thing.
No, I actually.
Let's hear why I talk in that aspect, please. Please,
I don't
please.
understand. Why do you want me to talk?
No, no. You understand?
Like you've been picking on me.
No. I know you have experience in that part. That was why
But I totally disagree.
Okay, go
I
ahead.
I feel the guy is a pro. Because it's not easy to manage two ladies. I think it's difficult. I don't know why you're attacking me because it's extremely difficult.
As a professional, it's
No, I am not a professional because if I am, I would have, in short, I'm giving the guy kudos because I can't do that. I couldn't do that.
okay. You tried it, but
No, not
He
that.
tried several years.
we're always catching you.
Okay, so let me
That's why he's
say
giving kudos.
so I feel the guy must have actually lied to or tell the other lady a different story, and as well trying to make the lady feel she's the one chasing after her. And I think he's telling the same story. So at least they would be conflicting. But see the guy as a good guy. I think that's...
You are experienced.
It's just no
Logic.
I want to clarify something.
Okay. You ended that. You're dating someone right now.
Yeah.
The person you're dating right now, what's the purpose for it? You guys are just hanging out, kind of. You're serious about this one?
Yeah.
Is he too serious? I don't know what's serious.
I don't know if it's serious.
No, but we show you how to
do you
know
know? Okay,
he's
so how do you
serious.
know he's serious? That's the question.
Yeah.
Okay, for somebody that he creates time for me. I literally explained to him. I told him before we entered this whole thing. I explained to him that see what I've been through. And if you are, I think in the past relationship, I put my full body into the relationship. But this time, I'm leaving only my 2 legs inside and my other 2 hands outside.
I don't understand. What does that mean?
Because I think I literally trusted and over loved this guy. The love was too much.
Okay, so the present person now, you don't love him.
Suffering for paying for the
him as much
crime.
as the past guy.
I do love him a lot. I do love him.
But you're not going to trust him.
I do trust him, but I don't want to experience what I experienced before.
Okay, so the question I'm asking you about the person you are dating, because you see what has happened in the past, let's just forget about that. That has gone. You are out of that now. Right now, as it is now, how do you know? What's the goal of this, your current relationship? Maybe that's the question I'm asking.
Okay.
What's the goal? If you had to summarize it, what do you hope to get at the end? Are you guys just hanging out and then?
Oh, you're hoping to marry him for real?
I'm open to if it works out.
How old is the guy?
Okay, I don't know. What she's been is mid-20s.
That's a red flag. Is it done with school?
Yeah.
And
Is it working? How long has it been working?
The boy's working. I'll just say he's working and it's okay.
And like he lives alone on
You
his
don't
own.
want to answer these questions about him.
No.
You don't want to put him on blast. Hear me. There's be a timeline from now till when you get married. Some of things will say may not make sense. You have something going for you, which most other people don't have. You have the...
Actually, you
looks.
Because when she was talking, I was like, are women this naive? Do they still exist? And right now, I just realized that the reason why you are...
She's not inexperienced.
Exactly. Because I'll tell you this, that guy was... The only reason why that guy was a pro was because
of your inexperience, yes.
Yes, no.
I said that.
No wonder they made those useless
only
calls.
taking
And I think the other lady too is young.
probably.
Oh, that guy.
We're not speaking against you, but okay, so let's just quickly run through this so that you would. A couple of things. Most men do not get married, all right, before the age of 28, if they've gone to university. Before the age of 28, most men do, because they would have to graduate and work for a couple of years. Most men on average work for about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
So that they can either get an apartment, prepare for the wedding, all right, and
prepare for a future.
Prepare for a future and plan for a family. Okay? So I don't care whatever this guy tells you. And that's why we said there has to be verifiable evidence. If you told me that this guy probably was like 28, he's been working for the past 5 to 6 years, right? He has spoken to your mom and tells your mom that he wants to get married to you within the next 2 to 3 years. And then he has met your father, has spoken to your father, and your father has listed, okay, these are the things we need to put in place. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Then we're having a conversation.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, this guy is dating you.
I'm playing.
He's having a great time.
Nice time, enjoying young bodies.
And almost every man here in this studio, all right, has dated a girl when she was 18. Almost every man here. And I can tell you that none of them married her. Not one. You're thinking.
No.
I can tell you. Right? Because the guy, he has a huge advantage. I'm telling you, he has. As we are talking, the gentlemen here, they're like, let me put this to you. All right. If you had said that you were single, you would have had a mark on your back.
Yeah, there must be
that I must quickly collect my own before she's smarter. That's not so. Do you get what I mean? Yeah. So you go back to your guy, all right, and talk to your mom, talk to your dad, talk to this guy, and figure out exactly when you probably would want to start your own family. If you have no intention of starting your own family in the next 3 to 4 years, then you're probably wasting your time.
You know what men call 18, 17, 19? They call them smally. I'll see you.
Like, bro.
Yes, now. You go get the you can't get smally.
Yeah, smally.
That's what that guy is. That's what that guy is doing.
I'm serious though. Like that was like
that pro sitting here. You can't just out there.
Oh, that smally is. I think we should just continue.
Lisa,
I want to ask a question.
We're going to have you back on the show. Okay? We're going to have you back on the show. Definitely. Okay? But talk to the guy. Okay? Talk to your dad, talk to your mom. Tell your mom this is your timeline to start a family. Let them talk to that guy so that the guy doesn't run circles around you. Yeah, except you want to. If you want to just enjoy the guy the next 4 years, all fine and good. But it's not going to make it easier. Once you enter into your mid-20s, the dating, you start getting situations like
wonderful.
No, you start getting situations like chairman.
Yeah.
Right? In which and trust gets eroded.
Yeah. Like because if you were 21, that guy can never do that thing to you. Like, he can even if you hold him,
they're not 21 girls that have
Ogechi disagrees with you.
I don't know.
Let me finish. No. Let me finish. Then you can attack me. Now, if you catch the guy and say, "Who is wifey?" and it's hard for the guy to look at you and tell you, "This is my second girlfriend." It's hard. Guy, why I didn't lie?
No, now.
If you catch the man cheating,
I don't agree with you.
Yeah?
Let's hear from the pro.
I'm not a pro. I'm not a pro. And then I don't like what the picture you're painting.
He's casting the business in a bad light.
That type of person.
Okay.
I'm coming clean. I'm not that type of person. Okay. I don't agree because there are ladies that are 21 that.
No, that's not my.
That have happened to.
No, I'm saying that. Sorry,
let me hear you well.
I'm saying that. Now, this is my point. My point is that if you had like the way you catch the guy as who is wifey, and the guy openly told you that this is his girlfriend or his second girlfriend, normally, the guy would not have told you except he's ready to lose you at that point. Yes, now, if the guy openly tell you that this is my. There are guys there. You can always
the point is, guys actually know those they are dealing with.
Yes, now, but he can't openly tell you that this is my girlfriend. You catch up where they do.
Chill. The fact that he understands the kind of person he's dealing with is the reason why he has to say it straight. He knows she will still stay.
Yeah. You go do it. No, leave the theory. If they catch you, no, leave the theory. If they catch you,
if you catch me, I don't do that.
You want to become a pro now.
You are moving with me. Definitely, we flock
Guys.
Now listen to me.
You have a guest on the show and you want to cast the guy.
No, if he's categorically telling me that that's what he's my friend, so we flock together.
So that's what I'm saying.
But you understand that we flock together doesn't mean we do the same thing.
When we are friends, so
let's ask the question. If they catch you, you go openly admit. Let's ask the guys around here. Make you prove me wrong.
Of course not.
Yes, now.
Except you're already
you openly agree.
Yes, now.
It wasn't me. I don't even know.
Mr. Abib.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm
with you.
You can drop it.
You
are among
Birds of same
you want to
let me get your question.
You really want to tell me honestly, that in your dating history, you have never been in a situation in which you were dating someone else and you branched out. You have never done it.
Never.
Okay.
Wow.
I guess maybe
Wow.
Never.
I guess you're a better man than most of us.
I just
And they are showing you shege.
And your kind
So Ogechi was saying.
And they are showing you shege.
Sorry.
Maybe now why they see shake, sha.
Ogechi was saying.
you choose to do something. I feel he just choose to do it.
What's that?
There are people that just don't
Yeah, it's
like, they
possible.
don't fancy it.
They don't fancy what?
They don't fancy it. Yes, now.
They don't fancy.
They don't fancy
I just feel committed.
being here. Like,
We're
Don't
not-
multitask yourself.
Listen, we're not saying that you don't fancy being committed. One of the things we have to tell ourselves, we are being realistic. Okay? We are being realistic here. You cannot tell me in good faith that if you had, as you are now, if you had an 18-year-old girl
crushing on you.
that was crushing on you, that you realize that she's like power steering.
Yes.
Do you understand? If you tell her, do this, you do this. If you knew that, you can't tell me that you say, go away.
I even had one, like, very young. I don't even have
I'm
a
not talking
girlfriend.
about 15. I'm talking about
Yes,
if it's
of
15.
course, not
I'm talking
15,
about someone
not
who is
15.
18-year-old.
Not 15,
Yeah.
up to 18. And I was even single. I still said no. She was even the one interested. I said
Okay.
no.
Why did you say no?
Of
She's
course,
a
what you're
friend.
saying,
Very good friend. I just like her as a friend. I'm not interested in her.
Was she pretty?
Very pretty.
Okay. Did she want to have sex with you?
She even wants us to date.
Yes. Did you ever have sex with her? Baba, forget that.
No, that's not the question.
No,
Baba, yes.
Don't do anything. Everything when you talk now, everything that you say now, if you use anything, just block up. Just don't say anything.
Let me tell you this,
After
guys.
you're falling my
Don't say anything. Just block up.
You know what? Listen, we are here. It's not, we're not small boys, we forget to. Forget the fact that we're this time. Let's just put that aside. All right? It's extremely hard. I understand she has been extremely honest. And the honesty,
Give her kudos, actually.
I give you kudos for your honesty.
I give you
All right?
kudos.
That's the first thing. Second thing about the story you said is, I am not concerned about the past relationship.
Yeah.
Because whether you like it or not, I even think that is, in a sense, in your story, I think that it's, I don't consider it a good thing, but I think it's admirable that that you dated someone for like, you're able to date somebody and it's not like you're dating around. Because most other ladies would
be floundering.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think that is admirable. However, I will tell you that if you don't want a repetition, if you don't want a situation where the next 3 years will go past, the person you are with, you will find out that person is dating somebody else. You need to have objective, verifiable evidence. And so there are a couple of things we want people. We want people who come for this show. Okay, so there's a bedrock for this show. This show is built on a couple of premises. So let me go into the premise for the show. I am a physician. Okay, and I believe, and modern medicine supports, not even modern medicine, wisdom over the years, ancient wisdom over the years supports that the best circumstances to raise children and to build a stable society is a family in which a man and a woman who are husband and wife who love each other, okay, raise the children together. Or rather, who are committed, because love is who are committed to each other and to the family. Okay? We also believe that it is best for men and women to have children early, particularly women. Okay, that means that it's best for women to get married and have children as early as they can. Right? And so it means that a woman has to find a man who can support a family. All right? She can work support the family, but it's better for her to find a husband who can support a family. That's our belief. If you run through the show, we hear that. We also believe that young men, okay, should focus their attention on getting their family started as soon as they can support one. And they should not waste their time because things get more expensive. So that's the belief. So in the middle of all this conversation, you come here on this show. So if you come here on this particular show and with the story you've narrated, at the age of 18, from the age of 18 to the age of 25, 26, 27, is the peak of fertility. Okay? At the age of 30, 35, you can still have children, you can still get pregnant and all that, but it's just easier. And that's why your ancestors, by your age, my grandmother was married.
My mother.
Do you understand? So it's not. So So if we're having this conversation and if you feel that you'll be ready in the next 3 to 4 years to settle down and you're dating someone right now, then it means that the next 3 years should be spent planning towards a wedding. If you know you're not going to spend the next 3 years planning towards a wedding and the guy is ready, if the guy is ready to support a family, then free the guy so he can go and find somebody who is ready to get married in the next 3 to 4 years. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is you tie that guy down. By the time you now break up with the guy and then you go off, the guy now will now take your break off in anger and now throw it out at every other woman is running into. That is our belief. We do not believe that, as much as possible, we believe that it is good, it is best. It's not too good for men to sleep around. We feel on the podcast that sleeping around for men actually hurts men more than women.
And it's more expensive, actually.
It's more expensive. If you sleep around, you can impregnate so many people, and then you now start having situations of baby mamas and the drama that comes along it, which you've seen in popular musicians like Two-Face and Davido. It's a messy situation that we don't advise men to get into, particularly Nigerian men. There are mistakes our ancestors have made who have had polygamous families that made their life a mess. So that's the summary of the show. If you sit down and talk about the show. So if you come in here now, you tell us that you're dating someone, you're 18-year-old. If you're not ready to start a family in 3 to 4 years, all right, then don't tie the guy down. And we'll also tell the guy too, if the guy is not ready to start a family with you, the guy should free you so that you can go ahead and focus on things and prepare yourself. You understand me?
So, but in reality, the guy will not free you actually. Like if you put it
in reality, the guy, and that is why it's up to her. And that's why we say if you go back home, talk to if you have a father, your dad is still alive.
I'm out there. I'm okay with my granddad.
You're okay with your granddad.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know.
Understand.
So if that's the case, then you should have that candid conversation with them that I want to start a family 3 to 4 years from now. All right, I need your wisdom. They're not stupid people. They may look old and all that, but there's no trick you pull that those guys will not see.
That's correct.
That's
correct.
True. That's correct, actually.
Before I got married, all right, I went to go and check some girls at home. And you know the ones that you have the biggest headaches with? Do you know the ones? The girls that will give you the biggest problems. It's the ones that you meet their fathers at home. The ones that you go and check a girl and then you don't meet the father.
The father will be at home.
The father will be at home. Mm-hmm. Because when you not get there, like father is not like, okay, so this is Monday morning. What are you doing here? I won't forget, one man did it. He said, I want to, I just think we'll just go out and do that. You know, the man just smiled. Looked at me. Said, but you're wasting your time. True. I won't forget, one of the things he told me, and this is it, if I mention, you probably might know the man. I said, get your money in order. Just said, get your money in order. Don't waste your time.
That is ancient wisdom.
That's wisdom. That was what he said, get your money, don't waste your time. Wow. And if you want to go out with my daughter, all right, I'm going to have to be there.
Okay. Wonderful.
Sharp bad guy.
I had mad respect for the guy. Much later, the guy, because the guy even met my mother. Not outside of, and my parents started asking him that, what's going on with that? Each man, this man runs into them. He's greeting them as if he's greeting in-laws. So that you have to get yourself right because we're not ready for, do you understand? So the point is, I'm not trying to say your parents are all in all, but no matter how bad our parents may be, they don't want our lives to be worse than them. So just keep that. So let's go on so that I don't want to dive in deep. We'll come back to some subsequently.
Very true.
With the way we've treated our question, you don't want to talk.
She looks very serious.
We have Q&A. If you guys have questions for her, let's list the questions down. We'll do the Q&A. But when we started out this particular show, we said...
So how old were you? How you were going through the shege you were going through?
Mid-20s, right?
Hold on, please.
I got it 21, 20.
Around 20s. Around 20.
Okay. You know my thing.
Oh, so a couple of things. So when we started out this show, we mentioned that we wanted to be able to take a look at our relationships and assess what we have to do, the decisions we have to make. Okay? Before I summarize this, I'll tell you my experience. Because usually when we have settings like this, people don't want to talk. They don't want to talk because they think that their circumstances or their stories are embarrassing. Okay, so I'll tell you my own experience. I trained to become a doctor. And when I was in medical school, I was one of the people that a bit of a perfectionist. Okay, you don't want to do things unless you can do it and do it well.
Yeah.
The problem with medical school is that the way they teach in medical school, particularly in Nigeria, is they'll give you things to read. They will bring you into the hospital. They will give you the patient to talk to. They will ask you questions. The lecturer will ask you questions about the patient. Then he will teach you after. So usually they will give you the task to do. You will fumble and embarrass yourself in front of the patient.
Yeah, before.
Then they will now teach you. You understand? So it's high pressure. Imagine I don't have anything in my head and then you tell me, okay, come into so a patient comes, you sit down, you ask the patient, diagnose the patient. And
pay me.
You that you are talking, you are thinking that, I know you yourself, you don't have anything in your head. so you start fumbling. And then after you fumble, you come and say, okay, summarize the patient. And then you start fumbling in front of the lecturer and the professor. And they used to enjoy it. Sometimes they will say things like, count how many bodies are here. Because a lot of you didn't come with your heads. You know, this kind of... But I noticed something about it. And for those of my colleagues who will watch this podcast, there's one thing which I noticed. Those people who are afraid of being embarrassed or afraid of making mistakes publicly, because this is the kind of environment, it's a teaching environment. Those people didn't get better.
Yes. And
do you know the people who became extremely good physicians?
Serial failures.
The guys who would stand in front, get embarrassed, stand in front of the patient, ask him, get embarrassed, stand in front of the lecturer, they will tear you apart. You can imagine you are talking in front of, maybe you have a girlfriend in the same class, and they're just watching them tear you into pieces. Mm-hmm. Okay, but those are the people that became better. Mm-hmm. Okay, you've come on the show, you share your story, and you may feel there might be that feeling that I have exposed myself here. But a lot of times, okay, if you do not expose yourself in the search for practical wisdom, you won't get better. Some of the lessons some of the decisions that confront you right now, a lot of people will not figure out those decisions until they've spent 10 years. You get me? So, and that's why, so if we ask, we're not asking the story, we can make fun and all that. You can see the video up. But the point is this, 10 years, 20 years from now, if you go back and you probably watch the video and see the way you tell the story, you would realize that you have become better as a result of some of the decisions that we decided that you should make. So if we find people who find themselves in relationships that they feel, should I proceed or should I end it? There are a couple of things that you should be on the lookout for, and we'll list a couple of them. The first is this: you have to respect the seasons of people's lives. Like we mentioned earlier, most men cannot start families until they've worked for some time. So if you are dating somebody, for instance, who is not yet working, all right, or whose income is not together, it's going to be extremely hard for the parent to support the family, because you are thinking about love and he's thinking about diapers, baby formula, and the rest. So it's important to respect the season. So if you want to know, should I continue with someone, particularly in a relationship, you have to look at what season is this person in. Mm-hmm. That's one. Okay, you have to tell yourself the reality. The second, when we speak about hope, when we talk on this show and we talk about hope comes from clear, objective data. Mm-hmm. Okay, if someone tells you that he wants to gain admission to university, you ask the person, what are the questions you ask the person?
What's your WAEC result?
What's your WAEC result? What's your JAMB score? Did you do post-JAMB? What do you want to go and study? What is your JAMB score relative to the cutoff marks? You don't ask the person whether the person is brilliant or whether the person has great plans for the future. Those are objective. It doesn't matter how brilliant the person is. If the person has not written WAEC, no matter how brilliant he is, what ends up happening? He's not going anywhere at all. So the same yardstick we use for that. If you go to the bank and you say you want to buy a house in Lekki, the banker is not going to ask you, what are your dreams? What's he going to ask you?
Can I see your cash flow?
How much money do you have? Do you have anybody who can borrow you the money? Who is your dad? Who is your mom? Can they support? So there are clear, identifiable things that you have to look out for, and we'll start listing them. So the first thing is, and that's what we mentioned, people's past will best predicts their future. Yeah. If you meet somebody, if you are with someone who is dating you and someone else at the same time, there's a good chance that when that other person drops out and you become the senior wife, he will date you and still have a junior wife. Mm-hmm. Mm. And you cannot complain, because if you could tolerate it, All right, you can't say someone else should not come in. Are you with me? So you can't discard people's past. There are circumstances under which we can discard people's past, and we'll get into that. Okay, so a question would ask people, this person's performance so far that I have experienced in my relationship with this person or in my work with this person, is this performance good enough? You have to ask yourself that. Am I satisfied? Can I take this person, introduce this person to people in my life? And when they talk to him, they figure out that this person is ready to start and support a family. If the people in your life cannot objective, then there's a very, very good chance that that person is not ready.
Yes.
You get me? So those are things those are one things you keep. The second thing you should ask is, if you are with that person and you say we're having quarrels, we're having issues, you would have to distill where are the quarrels coming from. You mentioned something that the girl was materialistic, and I disagree with you with regards to that. That particular, because women are wired to look for people who can provide for them. Yeah. At least African women are. I don't know about women in the West, but African women are wired to look for people who can provide for them.
Bam.
And so if you're not in a place where you can provide for a woman and support a family, like you are not then, it doesn't matter a request, it will appear to you as excessive. The request she's making, and I say this with respect to you, not the request she made then. If you probably had incomes there,
they will be easy to
times 20 of what you are getting then, you probably will be able to cover those requests. Okay, so you understand. So you also have to tell yourself the truth about where you are. Okay. So if you are feeling frustration, you should ask yourself the question: do I want to experience the same frustration 6 months from now? If the answer is no, then you have to figure out exactly what you will need to do. Okay. People have to give us objective measures to believe that they are changing. You say you are dating someone now. Okay. Ogechi asked you a question: how old is he? You said you don't know how old he is. Is he up to 28?
Yeah.
He's up to 28. Okay. She's looking at you as if you are lying. Is in your class? Be honest.
No, I don't even know her boyfriend.
You don't know her boyfriend? All right. Okay, so the reason why we mentioned 28 matters. If your friend, if your boyfriend has been working for some time, and you can tell you that, okay, this guy is working for some time, he's saving up towards getting married. If you don't have that clear progress that you can see, then it's enough yardstick for you to say, okay, you know what? Let's continue. But if you don't have clear progress, if there's nothing that you can point to as progress, okay, if there's nothing you can point to in his life that you can say this is progress, then you may need to have that conversation. You get me? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll go. There are a couple of other things too. What do you consider progress? Okay, maybe the guy is enrolled in a particular training program. When he finishes the training program, his income would rise beyond where he is. Okay, so that's not progress, but you can say this person is going to get better. He probably may be able to earn better. Okay? Maybe the person is involved in a particular project that the outcome of the project you can see. I'm talking about it for women assessing men. For men assessing women, it's the other way around. If you have somebody, and this comes back to whether people can change. In the off session, we mentioned that if you mentioned in that off session that if a girl has been involved in wrongs, okay, should we say that she should not get...
Can we bring her to...
Can we get married? Yes. Are we saying that she should not have someone to marry the person? If a girl has been involved in prostitution in the past and she says that she wants to abandon it, okay, you need to have milestones. Mm-hmm. All right? Does she have somebody in her life, okay, that will hold her accountable? Mm-hmm. In which you know that this person, based off the word of this person and the accountability of this person, this girl will not go back to that lifestyle. That's one. Second, will this girl allow you to monitor her? Mm-hmm. For example, the lady you are dating, if she had come to and said, okay, you know what, that was in the past, I'm ready to turn a new leaf. This is my phone. I'll clone my phone. Every single WhatsApp message or anything that lands in my phone, you will be able to read it. Or she says that every single WhatsApp message lands in my phone, your cousin or someone will be able to read it. Because that is the measure. That person needs a bit of transparency. If you are doing business with someone and you have caught the person stealing from you, and the person says, I won't steal again, the person, in addition to saying I will not steal again, the person has to come to you and say, okay, these are the things I will put in place that you will be able to verify that I am not stealing from you. If the person cannot put that in place and it's just based on the word alone, person most likely will revert back to old habits. So those are things that we would have to be on the lookout for. The person must be willing to admit that he needs help. The person must be willing to admit that I need help. So if you're dating someone, the person is womanizing, for instance, let's use that as an example. And the person tells you, okay, you know what? I know I have a problem with womanizing. I need to stop. Right? I'll stop. And the person tells you, I need help. Let's go to a counselor. Let's talk to this person. I'll find the pastor. We'll get the pastor or the imam of our church. I'll enter into a training program.
Mm-hmm.
I will become more close to God.
Yes, to curtail the slandering habit.
You get it? If you have that, then. But if it's just, don't worry. Like where I fault that story, and women have been in those situations. There have been women who have been dating married men, whose the men told them that I will divorce my wife.
Yes.
That's a version of what you narrated. So that I will divorce my wife and marry you.
Yeah.
And most likely, in almost all cases, they never leave their wives.
Yes,
Why?
except their wives.
Why should he leave his wife?
Yes.
And his children, and the house, and all his in-laws, and people, whatever. And start from beginning with
you. should ask yourself that the objective question.
Because the entire world has been set up to support a wife and children, not to incorporate, and it's more painful. So those are things that one okay.
Crucial.
So to do a quick recap, the person must admit that he needs help. The person must admit you must see support systems that shows that this person is going to get better in that area where he's going. The person must have skilled help. People who are professionals that can help the person deal with the issues he's going through. And you must see some form of success. If you have that, then you can say, okay, with this problem I'm having with this person, let's continue. But if you don't have that, then it becomes a bit of issue and all that. So one last thing which I'll touch on before we go into Q&A, and that is the base of how do you judge who people are. We've done this before in previous shows. We've had this conversation before in previous shows. I would have it right now. Most times when you talk to people and you tell them the best way to judge people, the kind of person, the best way to know who a person is, okay, is how the person responds to
problems.
How the person responds to correction.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
To correction, to feedback. And if you go through almost all the books, the Quran, the Bible, the Talmud, and all the what they call wisdom literature and religious texts, they talk about 3 categories of people: wise people, foolish people, and evil people. And it says that the way you will deal with those people is different. And I want us to think about our relations, people we are going to date, because if you think through all the various people you've dated, they all fall in one of these 3 categories. Yeah. Okay? And so how do you go? If you talk to somebody who is wise and you tell the person, what you are doing is wrong. I don't like what you're doing. All right? The way you've been behaving this is the effect it's having on my life. The person who is wise will listen to what you have to say. The person will tell you, tell me more. Okay, how do I ensure that I am a better person? All right? Definitely. How do I improve? That's a wise person. Because what you are warning him about, the person realizes that you've seen something, this thing can affect me in the future, you are warning, it takes your feedback. A foolish person, if you talk to that person that what you are doing to me is hurting me, the way you are behaving, other people will not like it, how will they respond? The foolish person is going to hate you. Person is going to tell you things. The person may gaslight you into saying that you have no reason to think that way or to believe that way or you are imagining things. Foolish people do not take correction. Now, if somebody has dated 50 men who have tried correcting her and she has refused to take correction from those 50 men, what gives you the assurance that she will listen to you?
When you marry her.
So the best thing you can just do is to just let those people and leave them to be alone. They are evil people. What do I mean by evil? People who will want to harm you in relationships. There are people who will get into relationships not because they have any intention, but just because they want to date you. Take your resources. Either use up your time, use up your affection, have sex with you, or take your money and then discard you.
Yeah.
Vanish.
Or some people just want drama and some people say that guy that is coming, bolomini here. That means that guy is my fool. Watch, if I talk to him, this is what or see the way I'll program that girl. If you see the way I'll talk to her, I'll program her, I will remote her and I'll just watch you and they'll call you on the phone and tell you that I'm broke. Can you send me how much you have in your account? You said I have like 50K. Send me all the 50K. He doesn't need the money. He just wants to show. There are evil people like that. And You cannot reason with an evil person. The best thing you can just do is you inform the police, you get the court system, you get guns, all right, and you keep them as far away from you as possible. And most of you, if you have not dated, most of us don't realize that there are evil people in relationships. Footballers are warned against it. There are some women who get into the lives of footballers just to sleep with them, get pregnant for them, and then drag them through drama and whatever to keep getting money from them. There are some men who will come into our lives and they have no good intention. All they just want to do is just to have sex with you as much as possible. And that's what so if you can't differentiate, and one of the best, like you mentioned in your story, when you were talking about your story, you mentioned that when you told him, you asked him that if you find out he's cheating,
what should you do?
What should you do?
He said flee.
And what was his response to you?
I should just leave.
The guy exactly.
So he's not going to repent.
He's not
That's
going
an
to
evil
change.
guy. He has no plans.
If the guy's response to you was, how can you be talking like that? Are you talking to me? This and that, whatever. It's not
wise.
If the person was someone who was really serious about continuing the relationship with you, the guy probably would have sat you down and said, okay, all right, so what can we do to address that issue now? That's basically what can we do to address it now. So if you are dating someone and you ask the person, when are we getting married? And then the person's response to you is, the person starts abusing you or whatever and all that, then you understand. It tells you a lot about, and the way you handle them, you manage them are different. So with this, just by simply giving people feedback, a lot of times through our lives, we will go through our lives, all you just have to do is observe the way someone is behaving, give the person feedback, and step back and watch his response. And on the basis of the response, you know exactly what tool you can deploy to deal with them. So thank you very much for sitting through this closing monologue of the show. We have several other questions. There are Q&A if you have stories that you want to get into. And if you have questions you want to clarify in the conversation going forward, then let's just take. So thank you very much for being a part of the show. We're grateful. Thank you. Thank you for coming.